This is the chair where Bruno Hauptmann was electrocuted, killed for his conviction of kidnapping and killing Charles Lindbergh's baby 80 years ago this month. Right now it sits in the New Jersey State Police Museum, which is where I went to do some research on what's been called the trial of the century. Charles Lindbergh was the most famous American alive in 1932 when his little son was kidnapped from their home in Hopewell Township, disappeared without a trace. Ransom notes were left. Later on, the child was found dead along the side of the road. The case and trial gripped the nation for years. Finally, Bruno Hauptmann was arrested, tried, and convicted for the murder. But all these years later, there's questions about whether he actually did it or if he had some help. So I went to talk to Lloyd Gardner, who used to teach at Rutgers University, who has an incredible theory.
Is it possible that Charles Lindbergh was responsible for his own child's kidnapping and death?
Yes, it's possible that he was certainly involved in setting it up.
Exhibit number one, motivation. The child was born with several medical conditions. Now, this is important because Charles Lindbergh was into eugenics at the time, which is trying to allegedly clean out the gene pool by selective breeding of so-called best people. Charles Lindbergh was 6'4", he was blonde, he was athletic, he considered himself a super person, and the great lone eagle could not have had a child with rickets.
He had feet that were bent inward, teeth that were coming in wrong. At his last medical examination, the doctor could not get him to stand up straight.
I decided to find out more, so with Gary Britton, retired homicide detective that I've done everything from serial killer stories to trips inside prison, we went up to the Lindbergh estate in Hopewell. Still there. It's run by the Juvenile Justice Commission. It's a home for girls. We were allowed inside, we couldn't take our cameras there, stood in the actual bedroom where the baby disappeared from. Charles Lindbergh himself was said to be sitting in the study, which is directly below the window of the baby's room, when someone allegedly put a ladder up against the wall, walked up top, took the baby, and disappeared, but no furniture was moved.
I'm speechless. It's amazing that you'd even attempt it.
Did the kidnapper actually go into the house, or was the baby handed out the window?
I got a copy of the actual statement Lindbergh gave police. It's a page long. The second page is just for his signature and name. There was not extensive questioning. I asked Gary what he would do if this case erupted today.
Get him pinned down to where were you, what happened, where'd you come from, where'd you go, and if he changes his story down the road, then that would be a little bit more suspicious.
We don't know where Lindbergh was the day before the kidnapping. He was somewhere in New York and canceled a speaking engagement. Could Lindbergh have been involved? We don't think that he wanted the baby to die, but maybe put the baby out of sight, out of mind, like prominent families like the Kennedys were doing. But Gary's got a different theory about this. Then the key might be in a table that's sitting in the State Police Museum in Ewing, and that's what we're going to go look at next.